greatest digital asset ever created. I'm so glad I accumulated before the space got saturated. XRP the greatest digital asset ever created. Make the haters aggravated, get the spaceship activated. XRP the greatest digital asset ever created. I'm so glad.
Mike. What's goody? Welcome back to the channel where you get your crypto news and your XRP news in general. So, I don't know. Yesterday, I forgot to change the settings for the volume, so my fault, guys. This one's gonna be a lot better to hear. But you already know I'm coming strong. I ain't coming long. So, XRP CEO, Ripple CEO, his Brad Garlinghouse, he was at the APEX 2025 event not too long ago. So listen up to this. He said XRP will capture 14% of Swift's volume in just 5 years. And that's over $1,000 per XRP. So listen up to this real quick.
You're going to see many hundreds of billions of dollars of tokenized real-world assets fairly quickly.
In 5 years. 5 years, yes. So, I mean,
it's for a dumb reason.
Today, there's two ways to go to Swift. There's the messaging and there's liquidity. Liquidity is owned by the banks. I think less about the messaging and more.
I don't know why there's music in the back, but
if you're driving all the liquidity, that's good for XRP. Anyway, so I'll say 5 years, 14%.
Brad Garlinghouse knows something that we don't know, and he said XRP could capture at least 14% of Swift's volume in just 5 years. So, hey, I'm gonna take his word for it. All right, and this is I want to show you guys the market cap of XRP, because I don't think a lot of people understand, like, you know, mentally, because it's a lot to like capture, especially if you're new to the crypto space. But I wanted to show you guys like visually, like when you get a visual understanding, like some people are more visual, some people more like analytical, some people are like, oh, you know, you can read it and they can understand it. But like me, I'm a visual person. So maybe you guys also are visual because you're looking at my YouTube channel right now. Make sure you like, subscribe to the channel if you like the information I'm giving, right? So XRP, what will you do? So listen up to this.
XRP has a market cap of around $120 billion. Compared to traditional systems like Swift, or the $30 trillion expected to be tokenized by 2030, that's just the beginning. And then there's the derivatives market, valued at a staggering $1 quadrillion. The future? It's moving to the blockchain. Listen to what Larry Fink, CEO of BlackRock, has to say about it.
We believe the next step going forward will be the tokenization of financial assets. And that means every stock, every bond will have its own, basically, CUSIP. It'll be on one general ledger. The
tokenization and transformation of the existing financial system onto the blockchain hold the potential to become the most profound financial shift of our generation.
What are you going to tell your grandchildren? What are you going to tell your children 20, 25 years from now? What did you do, Grandpa? What did you do, Grandma, during the greatest transformation of motherfucking wealth in the history of the world? What did you do? Other than sit on your fucking hands. What did you do to take advantage of the greatest transformation of wealth in the history of the planet? What did you do? Not a fucking thing. That's what you're going to say. Not a fucking thing. Because I was too much a coward. I was too much a weenie. I was too much a fucking cunt. And when I say cunt, I mean coward. I didn't do anything.
So who we heard in the background, that's Dan Pena. But so if you heard him, I've been talking about him for a very long time. He's like, if you know who invented Bitcoin, which is Putin, you'll not have Bitcoin and all that other good stuff. But I just always wanted to just make sure you guys know, like, what will you guys do and say to your grandkids when XRP in the years to come, I'm not talking about today or tomorrow, I'm talking about 5 to 10 years from now, XRP is Bitcoin numbers, you know? What have you done for your kids, for yourself, for generational wealth? Have you been building? Like, this is, I mean, guys, it's all in, it's all out there. Like, you just got to search for it. You got to search for it. And you only got to search that hard because I'm bringing you the information. All right, so breaking. Swift confirms it will adopt third-party digital currencies via ISO 222 tokens. It will launch its own crypto to avoid clashing with networks like Ripple's XRPL. The future is interoperable, not monopolized. All right, so let me show this real quick.
Opportunities for us banks to in addition to being able to provide a better end-to-end client experience, frictionless payments also help SWIFT member banks be more efficient as a community, minimizing costly exceptions and investigations, enabling us to better compete from a cost perspective with new entrants and closed-loop networks. Enabling member banks to leverage global open network that is SWIFT's strength with a more controlled payment orchestration capability backed by the rich structured data of ISO 20022 format opens up further opportunities for us banks to provide value-added products and services to our clients. But Tanya, I think, though, what excites me the very most of all, and what I see as the biggest new opportunity for the industry related to SWIFT's new platform, is the potential for integration with a variety of networks, rails, and third parties leveraging the rich ISO 20022 format and the transaction orchestration of the new platform to manage that interoperability, as well as rules of engagement with these rails and networks via a single central framework that provides transparency to manage that end-to-end experience regardless of settlement rail, be it real-time, faster, instant payment rails, be it real-time gross settlement rails, be it card rails, even e-wallet or digital currency networks. So that is what I find the most exciting about the possibilities that this network, that this new platform has.
Woo! Don't wait till it happens. Yeah, don't wait till it happens. Bullish. So, hey, let me stop. You know how I get on here. All right, Monica Long drops a bombshell. Listen up to this real quick. The smart money knows what's coming.
I think maybe the use case with bank-issued stablecoins is, especially with the large banks, where they create a network amongst themselves and they're using their issued stables for interbank settlement. So it's just making their kind of existing kind of legacy world interbank payment settlement mechanisms more efficient through blockchain, which is probably, but we have seen some examples of that, like I think JP Morgan's efforts were based on that. And this also calls back to like our first strategy and our first go-to-market was working with the big banks on a product, called RippleNet, and we found a lot of success there. So I also know from working with those banks as customers that there is a need for this, for greater efficiency and transparency amongst them.
Yeah, no, on the grapevine, we're hearing a number of communities considering this, and the work's going on, but I think they're in the pilot stage still to really come out and talk about it. The next one then, Brad, for you is the rise of
pretty much that about to ask Brad Garlinghouse a question. Moving along. I think we're in the golden age of real world crypto. So I want to show you guys this right here. I think this was at the what event was this? Yeah, this was in Vegas. All right, watch this real quick.
Look, I think we're in the golden age of real world crypto. I actually don't think the 4-year cycle is relevant anymore, so I'm against on that. And I look at crypto and I look at an industry where people have been asking where the real world impact is. And you look over the last 4 years and regulation just made that impossible. It scared entrepreneurs out of the space and it suppressed product development. But the thing people don't realize is during those 4 years, the infrastructure continued to build and it built at an exponential scale. And so now you have infrastructure that can really support worldwide financial activity. And all of a sudden, the dam has been unleashed. I think we're going to see real world impacts at a much faster rate than anyone in the broad-based media expects because it's been suppressed so long. It's a coiled spring. And so I'm really excited to see that come into the world and make the world a better place.
Woo! It's been suppressed so long. So pretty much what he's saying is 4-year cycles or, those like Bitcoin halvings and all that other good stuff. He's saying it's not going to be here for long. SEC versus Ripple case, I can't wait till this be over. He's talking about we'll end within 5 days, June the 16th. Man, this has been like the longest dreadful. I'm not even in court. They don't even have me in the court. And I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm ready for this to be over. So I know XRP holders and Ripple members are ready for this to be over, so we can continue on with our lives, please. So June 16, make sure you look out for that. Also, I want to show you this video real quick before I go. The simplest yet the craziest use case. This is pretty much XRPL in production is done, like how they are able to purchase stuff over the blockchain with on XRP Ledger.
I got the video, the full video.
Okay, so there we go. There's the ledger. Just take your camera and scan that. It already opens everything up for you.
That's the Sun wallet.
Just give it a second for it to find what currencies you have.
Pay with.
Click RLUSD. Yep. No, click RLUSD. That's the currency you want to pay with. Swipe to sign.
Awesome.
Verified you there. Verify there. Verify here. No, you're done.
Okay.
That's showing your. That's your. Okay. Yeah, and you can even view that on Ledger. So if you click there, that actually shows you your transaction on Ledger, which you can never do with Visa or Mastercard. There is your receipt, and let me get you your. All right.
I mean, literally seconds. He showed the receipt right there. He paid $2 just to purchase, I believe, a hat, right? Moving along. I want to leave you off with this right here. Please make sure you guys like, subscribe to my channel. I love to hear your feedback, your comments, your questions, concerns. Today at every single Thursday, I repeat, every single Thursday from about 8:30 to 10 p.m. we're going to be live streaming on the YouTube page. So bring your mother, sister, and cousin to the stream on YouTube. You know, we're going to be on Twitter as well and Twitch. So we're going to be streaming live. I'm going to leave you guys with this. This is a great video, so listen up to the last 2 minutes of it. XRP. Keep going.
Very excited about democratizing.
Let's keep on. Not a financial advisor. Listen up to Brad.
Settlement between banks. So today, if Morgan wanted to send the $10,000 to London right now, the fastest way for her to do that is to drive to Newark or JFK and fly it there. Our view is, in a world of the internet, you can stream video from the space station. You should be able to do real-time settlement between banks, and we sell technology to banks to do that.
And the banks are getting on board with this because they know there's a lot of paper pushing and also a lot of money attached to those settlements.
For sure. So we have over 100 banks working with Ripple today around the world. I think the vast majority of banks, like 99.9% of banks, actually are paying other banks, the global money center banks like JP Morgan or Citibank, to make those settlements. So a lot of the banks are very excited about democratizing how these global payments flow.
There's a belief that, you could transform the global payment system over time. Although then the alternative argument is you need a centralized. You can't have it decentralized, that it actually benefits from efficiencies. I would assume you come down in the latter.
Yeah, for sure. I think anytime you can do something without that central counterparty, you're going to reduce friction, which is measured by time, cost, speed. So by removing that central counterparty and going direct from point to point, you can skip going from the Bank of David to the Bank of Morgan to the Bank of Mike. You just go directly to the Bank of Mike.
So if the immediate opportunity is efficiencies in this area of the actual kind of nuts and bolts sort of plumbing of the financial system, how does that relate to the value of the Ripple tokens or of the Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies? They're taking on a separate life, it seems, from the future of adoption of this technology.
It's a great point, and I think one of the things we all have to remember is that the value of a token over the long term is really going to be derived by its utility. What problem is it solving? How big is that problem? How many customers do you have? There's no question there's a lot of hype in this system, and I don't actually think that's a good thing. For Ripple, we use this digital asset called XRP to settle liquidity needs between banks. So today there's $27 trillion parked at different banks around the world so they can make payments between each other. Our view is you can use a digital asset like XRP to do that in real time. Because XRP has been so efficient, it settles a transaction about 3 seconds compared to Bitcoin.
So it just passes through that currency